Our planet Earth was formed 4.6 billion years ago as a lifeless planet. That is where our story began. But that is not the beginning. Earth and the Sun were formed around the same time with the gravitational collapse of a giant molecular cloud made up of gases and dust. Due to the gravitational pull, most of it collected at the center, forming our Sun. The rest of the matter scattered into space, clumping together, becoming spheres due to their own gravitational pull, forming planets, moons, asteroids, and other small bodies that form our solar system today. And all this happened on one of the four spiral arms, about 26,000 light years away from the center of a huge galaxy called the Milky Way. The Milky Way is considered to have originated at the same time as scientists think the universe came into existence. It is estimated to be formed around 13.6 billion years ago. It is estimated to have a diameter of 87,400 light years, and it is approximately 1,000 light years thick. There are approximately 100 to 400 billion stars in our galaxy, and the Sun is just one of them. Our Sun, at a speed of 500,000 miles per hour, roughly 800,000 kilometers per hour, takes approximately 225 to 250 millions of years to complete one circle around the center of our galaxy. That means in 90 seconds, we move 12,500 miles or 20,000 kilometers in orbit around the galaxy's center. But that is not it. As technology advances, we keep finding that there is more and more out there, even in our own galaxy, that we don't know anything about yet. Astronomers have confirmed that the Milky Way is a part of supercluster that is estimated to extend up to 2 million light years. And it is also confirmed that the Milky Way is not the only galaxy out there, and not the biggest either. There is a lot more, way beyond our reach and imagination. Well, that is just a perspective on where we exist, where our planet Earth exists on this grand canvas. Beyond this planet, we have not a single clue about what is out there. And now think about just our home, the Earth, a small, tiny grain of sand hung in space, revolving around a little bigger ball of fire. And all our existence and everything we know, everything we do, everything happens on this tiny grain of sand. The phenomena we call life happens only here, as far as we know. When we look beyond Earth, it is impossible to gauge the grandeur of the universe. But thinking backward to the smallest molecule, smallest atom on Earth, the complexity of this creation is just magnificent. We take everything for granted since we evolved, that the sun will rise, it will be a day, and then the night follows. There will be a winter, then spring, then summer, then autumn, and then winter again. We take birth, we live, and we die. This has been happening for millions of years. But it was not like that in the beginning, and it is not going to be like that forever. There is only one rule that is true about this universe. Everything that exists comes to an end. We are living under the sun, which is a dying star. Stars like our sun burn for about 9 to 10 billion years. Our sun is living out its youth. In the next 5 billion years, it will start to cool down. It is going to expand and turn into a red giant, and the sun's habitable zone will move outside of Earth's orbit. This red giant is going to swallow planets like Mercury, Venus, and possibly Earth. And in the next 7 billion years, it becomes a white dwarf, and in 1 quadrillion years, it will cool down and lose all its gravitational pull, and the solar system ceases to exist. That is a full life cycle of a solar system, and the same cycle is happening on every scale, smallest of an organism to the biggest of a star, the solar system, the galaxy, and the universe. We all believe that our universe came into existence with the Big Bang. It is going to live its life and it will come to an end. Now it is just mind-boggling to understand our existence in this celestial show. When our Earth is dead, some other planets like Mars will become habitable for the next few million years. And then Saturn's moon will become habitable for another million years. Who knows how many times it has happened before and how many times it will happen again. We are just witnessing a fraction of the whole cycle of life. So did our ancestors in medieval times, ancient times, prehistoric times, and so on, since the dawn of humanity. And the same applies to all the living creatures before humans were around, and those who are gone extinct now. We just have the remains and stories of those life forms, as we are going to be for someone a few million years from now. We are just a spectator who is allowed to see, within a blink of an eye, only a glimpse of a trillion-year-long movie. If such a thought does not make someone question their existence, then what will? These words, time and years, are only relative to Earth. There is no such thing as time in space. The rules and the measurements we use on our planet do not apply anywhere else in the universe. Well, the whole universe is out of the question anyways, as we have no clue about it. We can just relate everything to Earth, where life has been happening for the past millions of years, and will continue to happen, hopefully, for a few more millions of years. So on this gigantic scale of time, where do we exist? For a moment, if we assume that us humans have a lifespan of approximately 80 years on an average, we are going to witness about 80 years out of some trillion years, and that is just incomparable. Everything we do, everything we seek, everything we know, the whole drama of life happens during this tiny period of time. We all think that everything that exists revolves around us and we are at the center of the universe, and everything is happening in relation to our own existence. Think about it. Every one of us thinks like that. So every one of us is living in our own separate universes. And we all believe, or at least expect, that whatever happens should happen the way we like, and it should work in our favor. But that never happens. We are just passengers on this huge spaceship that we don't even know who is controlling. Everything on this spaceship is happening autonomously. We have no control over it, and all we have is an illusion that we are in control. And it is not just us who are alive today. Generations and generations of our forefathers have existed before us with the same approach, with the same illusion called life. Humans have existed through so many different periods of time, survived, flourished, and evolved. Only a few of them figured out that it was just a game, but the majority failed. And the case is still the same. When and how are we going to solve this puzzle, and who do we think is going to win? Who knows if we will find the answers to the question of who we are and where are we headed? Most of us don't even bother about the question, let alone the quest for seeking an answer to all this. We are living in the most efficient and easy period of time so far in the history of mankind. The resources we have were never available like this ever before. The life security, the life expectancy, freedom, knowledge, science, and technology, all those things have evolved exponentially in the last century. Life was hard before that, and harder during the Middle Ages, and hardest in the ancient ages. And think about the life in the jungle. Don't we all agree that we have come so far? We have accomplished so much, but on the same note, we are just a spectator who is just witnessing this evolution happen. It is no different than the times when man made first weapon for hunting. It was a turning point at that time, when some of our forefathers witnessed development of agriculture, the plows and the irrigation, and they were able to grow their own food for the first time. And when the wheel was invented, that changed the face of the planet. When someone developed language and writing, and we as humans were able to communicate with the rest of us. When they saw the first light bulb and there was light at night. And when someone invented a compass that opened the doors to the rest of the world. And we somewhat postponed death when someone found cure for diseases. So all of us have witnessed evolution in terms of science and technology. Whatever was available, whatever was possible with the known and available resources at any given time. Today we have knowledge and skills to develop tools that were unknown and unimaginable for our ancestors. These tools and this knowledge has changed our lives significantly in both positive and negative ways. We have improved on quality of life in terms of health, food, safety, social life, and freedom, etc. But we have gone backwards in all these aspects as well. We found a cure for some diseases but created so many more. We have abundant food for everyone, but we have compromised on quality. We think we improved our social connections, but we have sabotaged relationships. And we think we have freedom, but think about it. Do we? We are slaves and becoming more and more enslaved to the illusion of power, control, and comfort as we keep going ahead with the science and technology. And due to this out-of-control knowledge burst, there is so much information being created every second that it is almost impossible to catch up. So what is the point of all that if we could never benefit from it? Now the concern is that are we getting any closer to finding an answer to the big question of life? Who are we and why are we here? Are we going to find such a thing called happiness? Are we headed in the right direction? Are we closer in finding an answer to these questions than our forefathers? With all the technology and information at our fingertips, we are still struggling to find satisfaction. And it seems to be going away as we keep evolving. This question has existed since the dawn of mankind, and I believe we are the farthest from the answer out of all. So, is our plan to keep pondering over the question and disappear like everyone else who existed before us, or are we going with an answer this time? We are given a chance to exist on this heavenly body called Earth in a period where a lot is possible. There has to be a reason why. Or are we just another life form who is destined to disappear like the other numerous ones without a trace? And someone in the next few thousand years will read about us, that there were humans in the 21st century who did unimaginable things but failed to save themselves and left without an answer. Just like we read and criticize history today, let's not forget that life does not give a second chance, and all we've got is one chance.